A description is a detailed record of the sensory perceptions of some person, place, or thing. In many cases, an author will seek to make a point through their description. So consider if a writer wrote about the way a rose smells, or the way hot pavement feels on bare feet, or the sound of your mother's voice. All of those would be forms of description. And the reason all of those would be forms of description is because if a writer wrote about these things, then they would be providing a detailed record of the sensory perceptions of some person, place, or thing. So if a writer wrote about the way a rose smells, the writer would be talking about the sensory perception of smell to a person. Or if they wrote about the way hot pavement feels on bare feet, they would be talking about the sensory perception of touch to to whoever has the bare feet. Or they might be talking about the sound of your mother's voice. So they're talking about the sensory perception of hearing, and they're talking about that in terms of whoever is hearing their mother's voice. Now, sometimes an author will use short descriptions to give the reader a sense of the emotional content of the topic. Now, it's important as you're reading to evaluate the descriptive details the reader is using. So there's a couple of things you should look for when evaluating these details. One is you should make sure that the details advance the author's point. If the details aren't advancing the author's point, then they're irrelevant and they're cumbersome to the reader, and they're distracting from the main point that the author is trying to make. And the descriptive details should also make the text more enjoyable. If the descriptive details don't make the text more enjoyable, then again, that means the facts are probably irrelevant, or there's just too many of them, and so they're becoming cumbersome to the reader. And again, they're distracting from the author's main point. So you as the reader should be constantly evaluating whether the descriptive details included by the author advance the author's point and make the text more enjoyable, or if they are just distracting and irrelevant.